Okay, we're live, I think. I think it worked. I'm not sure though. Uh, so I clicked the button and let's see if it worked. Did it work? Um, hey, it worked. We did it. I'm okay. So Constantine is a little under the weather, but he's here with us. I'm not actually ready to go yet. I just hit go because I wanted to just go. Um, but uh, I was having trouble with Google today, where it didn't load like uh like anything in a reasonable amount of time. You know what I mean? It was really frustrating. So now I'm like 20 minutes behind where I usually am, but it's okay. So I'm just setting up some stuff so it looks okay, and I think that looks okay. Uh, Constantine, how how are you doing, buddy?
Not, I'm not doing good. What is Rona?
The coronavirus.
Oh, no, just having terrible headache.
It, it'll happen to you. It happens. I get headaches all the
I
time.
don't know.
I relate. I get really bad migraines all the time. Uh, so I feel for you. Just trying to set up our stream right now because I'm a little behind. Okay though. It's okay. Everything's okay.
I have some like problems with my not nasal canals. Like it has,
Like your sinuses.
uh, yeah. And I was referred to a doctor, sinus and snoring specialist, and his name is Doctor Slaughter.
That's a great name.
I'm I'm not sure that I want to see him.
Uh, okay. So I think I'm. Oh, there's one thing I need to do to set up. There's one more thing. I need to set up my green screen. Um, Usually I set this all up before time, but this time it didn't work out. So doing it now. Where is my green screen? I lost it. Oh, there it is. Load up our green screen. Boom. Um, and then I can do that. And I have a button I can press to make it even better. Boom. I think we're good to go now. This is great. I can draw. Cool. Now I need to open up the chat window and we're good. Okay. Here, and Constantine, I'll do the thing to you so you can see it, so you don't have to watch it. And we're going. There, I did it. We're all good. Okay, so today there was a bunch of weird news in the Black Sea. Constantine, did you see what happened in the Black Sea today?
Yeah, I've seen that one of the United States UAVs, MQ Reaper, got shut down, failed. United States says that it was amateur behavior by Russian pilots that caused it. Su-27 was in front of it and dumped. It appears that it dumped something like fuel and damaged its propellers. But United States says it was not intentional. It was because they are amateurs. But I personally don't know. I think that they pretty much did it pretty much deliberately.
Okay, so here is an image of our little drone. And it's important to see this because you notice how the prop is in the back of the drone. they're saying that the plane crashed into the prop and knocked it out of the sky. So the plane would have had to come in from behind to do that. Or I think more realistically, it would have to come from the top and bump it. I think that's what happens. So we didn't get banned from Twitch. We got a 30-day suspension, although we might not go back. YouTube's fine. What's wrong with YouTube? YouTube is great. Okay. So yeah, I imagine they gave it a little bumperoo and took out the prop, and that made it, fall out of control. So I think at first they were in front spraying it with fuel, trying to kill it, and then they got annoyed that that didn't work, so they gave it the old bump, and that took it out. So yeah, that was kind of weird. We'll wait to see if there's some sort of consequences to Russia for this sort of thing. I don't know what consequences could be. I don't know. It wouldn't be anything major. It might be like, I don't know, like giving Ukraine a new toy to play with, maybe. But yeah, there was another drone related news today where a Ukrainian drone attacked or tried to attack a chemical lab in Bryansk, and it was shot down. I think it was shot down like 2 or 3 kilometers before the target, so it actually got pretty close to the target. And if I remember right, I might be wrong. I think it was shot down by a Panzer, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But it was around right here in Russia where that happens. Um, and then furthermore, there were air defenses shot around Belgorod, which I think was probably also related to drones, although I'm not really sure. And yeah, that's all the drone news I have. Uh, but uh, Ukraine did a HIMARS strike today. Um, uh, in this city here, the city has like 3 different names, and it just really confuses me. Why does the city have so many names, Constantine? Because what do they call it? I can't remember. Let's see. Um, what's it? Uh, Krasny Luke. Is that that's what it's called? Anyway, they HIMARS that city today, and they hit I think a dispensary, and they claimed a lot of casualties, but I don't know if that's actually true. And and furthermore, in more missile news, Ukraine hit a ammo depot and Kyrie or Cairo or whatever it's pronounced, and and the Russians hit a school in Zakota, which is near this really important bridge that um, is part of like the really important infrastructure of Odessa. So this bridge is kind of intimately connected to the grain exports. And today, the Russians claimed that they were going to expand um, their the export policy for another 60 days to allow Ukraine to export from Odessa for another 60 days. But then at the same time, they shot a missile near this really important bridge that's part of that export. So it's kind of mixed signals. Um, and then further in long range news, um, in Berdyansk, in exactly this location, there was a Russian like little military depot of vehicles spotted that I decided to put on the map. And I kind of it would be fun if that gets hit by a missile, maybe that'd be cool. And oh, and I believe in Melitopol today, one of the Russian collaborators got assassinated. So that's all the kind of long range behind the front lines news that I know of. Um, so now we can get kind of into the more specifics, zooming in a little bit more. Around Kupiansk, I talked to a few people here today, and the news that I got is very vague. They said, I'm going to basically quote them verbatim. They said the Russians attacked somewhere and had no success and gave up. And other than that, nothing has changed. So that is that's the news from Kupiansk. They attacked somewhere and nothing happened. Other than that, this whole kind of area is very stable, which is actually saying a lot because the uh, the force ratio here is hugely in favor of the Russians. The Russians really kind of vastly outnumber the Ukrainians, but the Ukrainians are just doing a really good defense. They're really doing a great job, um, and the Russians have made no successes. I've stated in the past that the um, the Russian commander in this area, he is more of a Western leaning sort of commander, where he's less willing to make huge sacrifices for small gains. He's more patient and more intelligent overall. He's not making he's not making unforced mistakes. So he's playing by the book. It's a very academic kind of attack because Russians are attacking, but it's by the book, and it's intelligent. So and Ukraine is also kind of defending by the book. So everything here is very intelligent. That's intelligent, academic. Those are the sorts of words that you would use to describe it. Um, Further south, near Novoselevska, Konstantin, do you have any news about Novoselevska? Because I had a few questions asked to me today about here. Have you heard anything?
Well, I've like 2 days ago, I think, or how many? On Saturday, I posted the video from there. There is not much movement over there right now. The one of the a platoon of reconnaissance platoon of Russian forces got destroyed there. They made a wrong turn on their Kamaz truck and they would hit a mine and then were destroyed by artillery. And turned out that those were like important people with the documents, and they sent another a batch of I don't know mobics to get their bodies, and those mobics were shot at as well, and they ran away. They spent 2 days hiding in those tree lines, and one of them was complaining to his wife, and it was this was intercepted on the communication, so it was pretty funny story. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, because there's some rumor that the Russians have pushed into these fields. I don't think it's true. um, uh, so anyway, so other than that, there's really not that much going on in this whole general area. It's pretty
Okay, I'm
quiet.
back.
Okay. Um, I don't know if you heard. I heard today that the Russians have moved up into these fields right here. I don't know if you do you see me pointing? Um, but I don't actually think it's true. It's just people keep asking me like, did the Russians move up to these fields? And I don't think so.
I did not ask. I have a guy over there, but I did not ask him, so
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
can ask tomorrow.
that's not super important. But the one really interesting thing over here is that the Russians said that Ukraine is attacking this town of Karsmaniivka, um, which we've had evidence of Ukraine doing things in this town before. There was I don't remember when. It was like a month or two ago. I can't remember exactly, but there were Russian reports of Ukrainian shelling in the north of this town, and then shortly thereafter, there was Ukrainian reports of Russian shelling in this town. And I remember I went into the 3D of this town here, and I showed that
Uh,
it is at the bottom of a large hill. So, um, so the Ukrainian side is on top of a hill. There's the hill kind of tapers in the north, and the Russians are on the bottom in the valley. So, um, so yeah, so the Russians they're claiming that Ukraine is attacking. I imagine if you were to attack, you'd come from the north, but I don't know. What do you think, Constantine? Would you attack from the north?
I would send someone to attack instead. No, I'm joking. Uh,
I don't know.
I don't know. I honestly, I think that Ukraine does not need to, this town is not. There is no one in it. I
Hmm.
don't believe there are any people in it.
Well, anyways,
It
there was talk. The Russians claim Ukraine is attacking here. If not the town itself, then around the town. Um, it could be, for all I know, it could be down here, or it could be up here. But they're saying that Ukraine is attacking somewhere in this general area, and it is the only place, um, really, where I have reports of Ukrainian attack anywhere in this general region. So for that reason, it's interesting. There are also reports of Ukraine pushing near Chernopapivka in these kind of forest areas. They kind of pushed up. Um, it might be too conservative to say that this is just contested. It might actually just be Ukrainian controlled. The Russians have been repeatedly assaulting, trying to get Ukraine out of these forests, but they have not been able to. Um, So these are kind of the only two positions that I know of Ukrainian attacks, and I can mark them on the map zoomed at this level. Um, so it is, make a smaller marker here and here. So those are like the only two places that I know of Ukrainian attacking in this general region. Um, there's also like open combat in this forested area south of Debrova and Kremena, but I don't really know if that counts as attacking. It's more just kind of skirmishing. I don't know. Maybe this would also be considered an attack. Um, but other than that, this whole area is more or less stable. There's talk today and yesterday that Russia has advanced in this kind of area south of Yampolivka. Um, but I'm just gonna stick into my map at this point. I don't think the Russians have moved past this blue area. They're either in this gray area or in the red area, I think. So and then also there's attacking in Bilohorivka as per usual. So that's all the whole kind of northern Kharkiv, Luhansk area. Not too exciting. The stream's been going for 1 sec. It's it's been going for I don't know. It doesn't tell me. I had to move a bag, but it doesn't tell me.
10 minutes, let's say 10
10
minutes.
minutes. So, anyways, I'm looking at the chat. Are there any questions? Uh, yeah, I'm sorry if you didn't get a notification. It was kind of a last second. I've never actually done a scheduled stream to YouTube before. and I wasn't really sure if it would work, and it did work. So that was nice. It was a nice surprise. I was expecting it to fail, but moving on. There was news today, which is absolutely fascinating to me, of Ukrainian. I mean, Ukraine said that they got shelled in this town here, which is south of Bilohorivka, um, and east of Verkno-Kamyanska, so it's Zolotarivka, that they reported shelling in this town, which I interpret as this forest. I'm going to zoom in on this little forest. I interpret shelling on this town as this forest. I don't actually know for sure. It could be this forest, but I assume it's this forest mostly because we know that Ukraine is in these forests south of Bilohorivka. So it seems like it seems somewhat logical that they could be moving south, although they could just as easily be moving east. I'm not really sure. I don't have any sort of confirmation on where the shelling is. But it is interesting that there would be shelling in this area because we have not heard really any news of this area since Ukraine lost it originally, and I can tell you the date. Um, Maybe I can't tell you the date. Okay, it was lost on July July 15th, roughly. So I've had basically no news since July 15th. That's been a while. It's been a while. So it's very interesting because I just want to point out that Verkno Kamyanka, if Ukraine takes this uh, oil depot, oil refinery, it really opens up a lot of possibilities to attack Lysychansk and to attack north into Privilia, and then that would give you a chance to attack Rubizhne and Kremenna from the south. So taking this oil refinery would be really a game-changing moment for Ukraine. So any news in this area is interesting. And as you see, this town is just north of it. It has this important railway going through it. And on the 3D map, you see that it's lower. It's lower on the terrain, but not that much lower. So it is possible to attack up, especially through this really vital train railway here. So that is pretty interesting, I think. Are they attacking the oil refinery? No, they're not even close to the oil refinery. I mean, they're sort of close. That in order to attack, they would really have to crest this hill. They would have, and they're almost at the top of the hill. They are really, really close to the top of the hill. But getting to the top is actually really difficult. They've tried to do it a number of times and they've been beaten back. The closest they've ever gotten was this forest right here, this little forest strip. They secured this forest strip for a long time and they were repeatedly trying to get up to this road and it just never worked out. They were beaten back by attack helicopters and bombers, like Su-24s and other little bombs. They kept getting knocked back to this industrial facility, which is much larger than you think it is because it goes deep underground. I think it goes underground a number, like dozen stories or more, like maybe 100+ feet down. So but they can't attack because they can't get up this hill. So any way that they can get up the hill would be really important, and whether they get up the hill on the north or on the south or even on the west, attacking from the west is incredibly difficult. These roads are perfectly straight, and it's just really dangerous. This road right here through Verkno-Kamyanska. People have told me that this is one of the most dangerous places in all of Ukraine, because once you get around this turn, it's just a straight line for a really long ways, and the Russians are in the top of this hill, just shooting here. Anything that moves, they shoot with artillery. It's very dangerous to drive down that hill. Down this road. So you can imagine how dangerous it would be to actually attack, because there's this other road which has a similar problem, and there's a whole bunch of not very much around here. Russia took really catastrophic losses attacking this town a while ago. They were trying to move through these bushes. There's a lot of like shrubbery and stuff. They're trying to move through here, and every time they did, Ukraine would pound them with artillery, and they took a lot of casualties. Um, so yeah, that's kind of that area. Now getting to the north of Bakhmut, I don't really have too much news about Orkovo-Vasilivka. The last I heard, Russia had gone through this depression. It's like a stream. I can't remember the name of the stream, but there's a stream here. They crossed it. There's another stream over here. They crossed that stream. And the last I heard, they were sitting on the other side of the stream right here. Some of the Russian sources claim that they have crossed through the town and up this hill in the south. You'll see a lot of Russian maps where they claim to control like this. I have not seen evidence of that, but who knows? Beyond that, I don't have too much news about this area. There's they're progressing southwest from Dubovo-Vasilivka, and I don't really know how far they've gotten. I really think they may have only gotten as far as this tree line. They might have moved up to this one. I'm not really sure. And more importantly, they are attacking through this forest here that is kind of between Yehidna and Bakhmut and Kromove. A number of Russian sources claim that they have taken this entire forest, which I find unlikely. It's possible they've taken some of it.
Well, I can show a video from there, from this
Okay.
forest.
Is it bloody? I don't want to
No,
get
no, it sounds bloody. Let me show you.
I don't want to get banned again.
They have not taken it. They tried to attack it, but let me show you. Give me 1 second. Where do you want me to send it to?
On Telegram or email.
Telegram. Telegram it is.
Okay.
Email. No, email.
Okay.
Actually, I have it somewhere.
Yeah, the hills around Bilahorivka are pretty important. I definitely can't show the video from here, but I think the video was from this hill. I think it just seems like it would be this hill, but I'm not entirely sure. But basically, there are just a whole bunch of dudes sitting on top of one of these hills with machine guns and rocket launchers or RPGs, and they were just shooting down the hill at the approaching Russians. I can add the that layer to the map if you really want it.
Huh? I just shared with you. Can you check your email?
Okay. I can check my email.
If not, it's supposed to be a link to the folder that has all those videos. There are 3 videos, not all of them. There is nothing special, just Russians going through those forests and being pummeled.
Okay, I'm gonna watch them first to see if I'm not gonna get banned. Because we've already been banned from one platform. I don't want to get banned from another platform.
Suspended.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I think this one's okay. I don't see any like gore. That's good. I don't even see any shooting, to be honest. Let's see the other one. Okay. Malcolm Nance. What do you know of Malcolm Nance, Constantine?
I will not comment anything on Malcolm Nance.
Okay.
I know too much.
Okay. You got permanently suspended on Twitter. What'd you do?
Oh,
How'd you do that, Misfit? Did you make fun of Elon Musk too often? Here, I'm only comfortable showing this one video because I don't think I'll get banned for this video. The other two I might get banned for.
oh, the other 2 had some.
I don't know. They're too like I'm kind of like gun shy.
Yeah, those are those woods, and they tried to attack. Russians tried to attack from the north there, and we had a drone up. That's one of our drones. And we managed to. Well, they started shooting. According to their intercept communications, it was one of the group leaders that was wounded among those 4 guys, and they had to pull back. So it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe today they tried once again, but yeah.
Yeah, they're repeatedly attempting to move through here. There was news today. I don't know if it's true. I don't really trust the sources, but there's news today that they made more progress today than yesterday. But who knows? Um, hey, so yeah, it's just this whole kind of area is really frustrating. Because if you see from from Solidar that there have been kind of really Russians moving faster than you would think they should over this kind of period of time, and it makes you wonder what is going on. Because a lot of these were dug in defensive positions, like especially uh, Orho Vasilivka and Minkivka. These were really highly defended positions where Ukraine appears to have completely lost at least one of them, and it just makes you wonder how is Russia advancing so quickly? What what sort of weapons would slow down such an advance? So like typically you would um, in order to slow down your enemy, you might deploy like a minefield. There's also the option of uh, artillery, mortars, but we see that Ukraine does have artillery and mortars. They might not have the ammo that they would like, but they have roughly the same amount of ammo as they did in all of these other kind of really slow advances. So it just makes you wonder what sort of thing is missing from here.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know.
regarding regarding what artillery is sent here, they are getting artillery. Trust me, they're getting. Bakhmut is getting artillery. There is, and you also have to realize that there's other areas where artillery is extremely necessary, especially Kupiansk. You see that the reason the reason Ukraine is defending Kupiansk so well is because they can set up artillery on, the western side of the river, and they can hit anything on the eastern side of the river. So anywhere the Russians try to attack, they get pounded with artillery. So it's vitally important that they keep artillery around Kupiansk. So when you say, should Bakhmut get better artillery systems, you have to realize that Kupiansk right now, they're heavily outnumbered. They have a force ratio of around 8 to 1. So Ukraine is outnumbered about 8 to 1, and they are keeping this defensive line. They haven't lost anything because of the artillery. So you want to take the artillery away from here and send it to Bakhmut. So what do you think will happen to Kupiansk? It would all collapse, most likely. That's why they can't take it from there. So where else are you going to take artillery from? They already basically stripped Seversk of its artillery and sent it to Bakhmut. Um, where else are you going to send artillery from? Are you going to send it from Avdiivka? We're going to get to Avdiivka in a moment, but they have their own problems right now. So where else? There's Vuhledar. Do you want to strip Vuhledar of its artillery? It's also getting assaulted all the time, every single day. So where is this artillery going to come from? There's no. They've given Bakhmut all of the artillery that it's going to get. Bakhmut has the artillery to defend. Oh, shoot, my stupid map broke. I hate when this happens. I hate Google so much. Uh, anyways, the so does Ukraine need more artillery? Yes, but they have to defend the whole country. They're not just defending one city. They can't send everything to Bakhmut. So mortars in Bakhmut are an issue. They don't have as much ammo as they need. I've heard um, I've heard of you know anyway, the mortars just aren't getting enough ammo. That's a known problem. Um, again, how do you fix that? Because if any ammo you send here has to come from somewhere else, so it's a balancing act of how important Bakhmut is. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you are sending everything to Bakhmut at the cost of everything else. Because we saw that happen in this war. That happened. Remember when Russia sent everything to Kherson at the cost of everything else, and then Ukraine took Kharkiv? Remember that? That was that was a bad strategy for Russia. You can't send everything to one place at the expense of everywhere else because um, there's just not enough resources for that. So you can't send everything to Bakhmut. Uh, anyways, so in Bakhmut itself, um, the south is kind of a disaster. To be totally honest, the south is kind of a disaster. Uh,
Bless you.
so my map is so broken right now. It's really frustrating. But anyways, so this southern portion here that I'm trying to redraw because Google broke it. Uh, Google just breaks maps sometimes. I don't know if you know that. It's it just if you make an update, Google will just undo the update. Even if the update was not the most recent update, Google will just delete the update for no reason. It's really annoying. Uh, anyways, I redid an update. Russia has taken these these roads here in the south of Bakhmut. They've also pushed north, and um, it's likely that they have reached this kind of school here. I've heard that there's fighting around this school, and I've also heard that recon elements have reached this intersection. This intersection is incredibly important. Um, the reason this intersection is important is because you see these two giant straight roads that run through Bakhmut. If Russia can control these two roads, these giant, perfectly straight roads, they basically make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to supply everything east of these roads. So Russia is making a very strong point to first get this intersection, and then obviously to push down this road as far as they can, and simultaneously they really want to capture this forest and move in from the north so that they can, kind of pincer this road. And if they do that, then the east is pretty much lost. So this is a bit of an issue. Um, at the same time, in the east, um, we have Ukrainian tanks are actually doing a lot of work in this southeastern portion of the city. They're controlling these kind of longer, straighter roads with their big armored tank guns, and it's doing pretty okay. They, as far as I know, the Russian advance in this area has slowed down as a result of Ukrainian armor. But this kind of separate assault to the southwest of the city is a big issue. And at the same time, Wagner took photographs from these facilities in the north of the industrial area of Bakhmut. So, Konstantin, have you heard anything about Bakhmut recently?
Oh no, I did not. I did not hear anything today. I was sorry. I was really busy. And yesterday, well, I showed you that
Yeah,
video that's basically all the news that I had. They tried to attack. They were repelled.
yeah,
Well, they tried to attack with small groups. They tried to repel, but it's unclear for me what is happening there. You appear to have a lot of information, especially about the south. I don't understand why this is like happening with this speed. Probably maybe it's that we're actually pulling out already, but I don't know.
yeah. So, with Russia getting to this intersection, I cannot understand how Ukraine could ever even consider defending the eastern part of the city if Russia reaches this intersection. It just seems impossible to me because you'd basically be left to like this road, and that just doesn't seem like enough. You'd probably want more than just that one road. Uh, so I can't imagine uh, can't imagine Bakhmut really lasting much longer unless um, Ukraine can really push Russia back in the south and also back in the north. Ukraine really needs to counterattack. They either need to counterattack or get out. Uh, the way things are, it's not going well. It's not. This is not good. Um, to the south of Ivanivska, yesterday, the Russians pushed up to around here, and then Ukraine counterattacked and pushed them back. So at the end of the day, not much changed for Ukraine, and Russia pushed up to this kind of little whatever this thing is, uh, um, and beyond that, not too much. So that's kind of the whole news around Bakhmut that I know of anyway. Yeah, Zelensky saying that Bakhmut will never fall. Well then, uh, well it's kind of falling. So I don't know what to say to that. I can't understand why they're still trying to defend it. It really it boggles the mind. Um, moving a bit south, um, a few days ago, I can't remember what day it was, the 9th, I marked it on the 10th, but I think it actually was the 9th. Um, Russians posted a video of Ukrainian forces capturing this kind of area near Mayorsk, um, near the this railway. They captured this kind of bend in the railway, basically. So I marked that on the map. It's not super exciting, but it's something. And then getting to Avdiivka, which is kind of another disaster in slow motion. Um, Avdiivka and Bakhmut are not going well. So the first part of Avdiivka is the Novo-Bakhmutivka, where not much is happening at the moment. And then you have Novo-Kalinove, which Russia is attacking. I don't think that they've even reached this railway yet. Although if they have, I don't think they've gotten over it. So they're just kind of attacking in the general direction. Krasnohorivka is somewhat interesting because a few days ago it seemed that Russia had captured the town. Um, Ukraine has fortified positions all on the west of the town and some on the north of the town. And it's believed that Russia captured the town, and then yesterday or maybe the day before, Ukraine launched a counterattack where they either took back the town or it's now contested. I have it marked as contested. So one of those two. So Krasnohorivka, I don't believe is actually controlled by Russia anymore. At one point, they had it for like a day or two, and then it seems they lost it. I believe they still control this one road though. Um, Going down to Kamyanka, there's really heavy fighting going on in Kamyanka. Russia has they've taken this whole southern or this whole eastern section of the highway. Um, Basically, all of it except this little kind of fortified position here, and Kamyanka itself is still heavily contested. Then moving south to Avdiivka, the coke plant is under heavy bombardment. Russia is kind of preparing to attack it, although I don't think they ever will attack it because it would be very suicidal to attack. Um, I imagine it's more likely they'll try to go through this residential area, which they are actually very close to reaching. And the southern part of Avdiivka, there's really no changes. And then this right here is Zenit, which is no changes. To the west of Avdiivka, Smyrna, um, Russians claim to have some success here. I don't know if that's actually true. If it is true, it's probably they moved up some of these forest lines. Then all of these towns, let me mark it. All of these towns here are under extremely heavy shelling. The shelling is from heavy artillery. It's from mortars. It's from helicopters, airplanes, long range glide bombs, um, and rockets. So and drones too. So this whole area is under a massive attack, and the reason why is that Orlivka is really kind of the main hub of the Ukrainian activity in this area, and then Semenivka and Berdichi. These are also extremely important logistics areas. Uh, Tonenka is a kind of the next major defensive position after Severna, and Lestachkina is another kind of the last town before Avdiivka, so it's kind of a logistics hub. So these all of these towns are extremely important, and they're being very very heavily shelled constantly. I have videos that I cannot show you, but I have videos from this area of just guided bombs just falling on just random stuff, and then there's really big explosions because these are like 1,000 kilogram bombs. Um, I'm confused. Okay. So apparently this didn't save an update to my map that I made. Just gonna have a running theme at this point. I did say that Google broke today. Um, so one sec. Maybe I have my backup map to show you. Nope. Okay. Backup map broke too. So anyways, today um, there was a today the Ukrainian general staff stated that Russia assaulted this town of Netailove. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry, but anyways, Russia assaulted this town here, which is obviously behind Pervomaisky. Um, this map that I show now is an old version of my map for some reason. I don't know what happens to my most recent map. Apparently, it got deleted by Google. But when I heard today that this area was under attack by the Russians, I asked around, and I was basically told that uh, Pervomaisky was lost, which is a controversial thing to say. It upset a lot of people when I said that. Um, but uh, basically, what from what I understand, this whole area here, um, this is all contested. That's from what I've been told. This whole area here is contested. Um, I marked. I originally got news from here on you can see February 27th. I originally got news from here that this was roughly the front line. And when I got this news, um, they basically told me at the same time that this area here was on the verge of being lost. So it's very possible that this area was lost around February 28th or March 1st, which would mean that Russia may have actually been around here since the beginning of March. It's possible. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems that slightly matched the timeline. Um, so then if I mark here on the map, this area to the west, this is Netilove. I don't know how to say that word. So this is the other town that Ukraine claims that Russia is currently assaulting. So, and my sources are telling me that Pervomaisky is partially contested. So from just using the logic of all of the news that I've heard, I believe that it's likely that like somewhere in this kind of circle is contested. I don't know the exact front line or anything like that, but it seems that this kind of area is contested, and this kind of area is held by Russia most likely, and this kind of between area I don't really know. It might be held by Russia. So and it's super frustrating that I updated this on my map and it deleted it apparently. So welcome to Google. Um, so yeah, I'll have to update it, I guess. How did this happen? Um, Russia is basically what they've done is they've just um, like Ukraine would like build defensive fortifications in a house or in this house and this house and then they would build like kind of mouse holes between the houses so you could move through the houses without going into the street, and that's kind of how they've been defending these positions. And Russia's response was, let's just demolish each house one at a time. So as the houses get demolished, Ukraine has been kind of falling back, and Russia just keeps demolishing more houses, and eventually you run out of houses. That's kind of how this happens here. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it goes. Um, so yeah, the anyways, uh, I don't have any particular news from uh, anywhere south of Pervomaisky, um, down to Marinka. I have no news from anywhere around here, but in Vuhledar, I do have one piece of news that this dacha south of Vuhledar is now under the complete control of Ukraine. I don't know when this was captured, but I know that it was captured, which is cool. So yeah, that is more or less all of the military news that I have for today. There's one other piece of information that I wanted to share, just because I think it's just super interesting. I'm going to open it real quick. Give me a second to find it. Okay. Uh, our friend um, Perosian, he found another Russian friend, and supposedly this little tubby dude on the right is throwing Perosian a bone and helping him fund Wagner. This guy here, he owns a whole bunch of oil, and he is very, very rich. And apparently, he is using his oil money to help fund Wagner now. So, yeah, there's this article here. I can link it maybe, but it more or less just talks about this arrangement um, between these two guys to help fund Wagner. So kind of the goal here of these two is to maintain funding for Wagner, and I imagine one of their main pieces of funding will be ammo, ammo, and maybe airplanes, maybe fuel, all the things that are expensive. Yeah, the video from Pervomaisky, that video, if I remember right, is like here. Um, I don't know what tanks blowing up here would show you because Russia has moved far from there. Or like they were up here as of 2 weeks ago. They originally captured there in January, so um, I don't really know what blowing up stuff here shows you, other than stuff there blew up. I mean, maybe they're moving, maybe they're moving to the front. I don't know. I just don't know what that video really proves, other than it's just a video of stuff blowing up. Yeah. So that's kind of all the all the news I have for today.
A great update. Thank you, Andrew. I'm sorry for not contributing. I'm just
Okay.
trying to survive.
It's okay. Uh, I'm really frustrated at Google right now. Google like messed up my map in so many different ways. Like this change in Pervomaisky, I made it like hours ago, like 12 hours ago, and it just deleted it. It just completely deleted the change for no reason. I don't get it. And like this change here, you see how it's like all messed up. That changed from yesterday. It literally went back in time and just messed up a change from yesterday. This is what I have to work with Google. It's really annoying. Like it'll like go back and break a part of the map that I updated like 3 months ago. So yeah, that's the situation in Ukraine right now. If you were to sum it up, not great. Uh, but there is this is coming. We're getting this soon. And that's going to be fun. This is in Abrams. Um, I don't know if you saw it today, but supposedly there was a video of um, of Ukrainians training on an
Of
Abrams.
Abrams.
Yeah, I don't know if that actually was Ukrainians training, but that's what they said it was. What's the overall ammo situation? Well, it could be better. There's different sorts of ammo. There's your kind of basic everyday ammo, um, like your stock ammo. There's your longer range precision ammo. Um, so the precision ammo is, and also there's the what's it called? The can't remember the word. The ammo that explodes in the air and kills all the infantry. But anyways, so the precision ammo,
Cluster.
yeah,
Cluster.
cluster, yeah, the cluster.
Cluster munition.
So the precision ammo, from what I understand, Ukraine is pretty okay on precision ammo. They don't have anywhere near enough standard ammo, and they don't have anywhere near enough cluster ammo. Um, so the precision and cluster ammo kind of matter more than the standard ammo, just because the precision ammo is obviously much more accurate and also much longer range. usually. Um, and then the cluster ammo just does a lot more damage. So uh, really, the mortar ammo is a really big problem. Because typically you want to shoot around 400 shells a day, and they're shooting more like 100 a day. It's not great. Uh, I don't think a Ukrainian offensive is coming anytime soon. Personally, I know that's controversial. I know a lot of people think that Ukraine will attack in the next 2 months. I just don't think so. No, there's no singular event that will make it game over for Ukraine. Wars are not won with single battles. In fact, you don't even have to win a battle. You can lose every single battle and still win the war. Because wars are not sports games. They're not it's not like a football game. You don't you don't even have to win a battle to win a war. It's about resources and um, there's political resources, there's financial resources, there's land. They, these are all different types of resources. There's manpower, um, but no individual resource will decide a war, and no individual battle will decide a war. And yeah, the mortars of all different sizes is an issue, although it's also a blessing because you have more places that can supply you ammo. So yeah, so yeah, that's all the news we have today, I think. Uh, so I'm gonna stop the stream now. So it was nice talking to everybody, and I hope Constantine feels better, and
Yes, thank you.
I hope everyone's doing great. We'll see you on Thursday, and there might be a guest on Thursday too. We'll see. So